Alright guys, we've got an unrated game against a player rated 1005 on the board, so just going to see what we get. We play normal King's Knight. Okay, now I think Bishop C4 looks very tempting. Might be able to push this pawn, get my knight in here and attack F7, so let's try that. Could get my knight pinned. Ooh, that's a bit quiet. Right, let's carry on with that original plan. D5 isn't possible. Okay, the queen's now protecting that. I could kick the queen with my bishop. Might prompt the pawn to come forward. Black's now got an issue with his dark squared bishop and getting that out into play. Alternatively, I could bring my knight here, attacking both the queen and C7. That looks tempting. So we're looking for tactical patterns, we're looking for common mistakes made around the 1000 level. Okay, so another pawn move. He's now moved 1, 2, 3, 4 pawns. Nope. Okay, but he's behind in piece development. So now, what do we do? Could bring my knight in and threaten this. I could bring my bishop out and threaten the queen. Either one could be refuted with F6. I feel like it makes sense to develop my bishop. Let's try this. If the pawn comes out, knight might also come out. I might just drop back down to here. Maybe try and drop my bishop into that hole on b6. Okay, the knight's come out, so I don't have to move the bishop now. Thinking about going into the middle game now and potential pawn break. So d4 is an option. Might be slightly premature now. But then if pawn takes, I've got queen takes, then my queen's lined up against this knight as well. Or I can castle now. But if I do this, pawn takes, queen takes, I could have an option of castling long as well. So let's try this pawn break now. This knight is pinned, so let's ice him. Ooh, yet another pawn move. Now, always got options. My bishop is under attack, but I could take the pawn. If he takes my bishop, that opens up a file for his rook. Let's just drop the bishop back. There's no rush. I'm the stronger player, so it should be in my interest to keep pieces on the board. And my opponents here got connection problems. So he's disconnected. Well, that'd be a shame. "35 seconds. "25. Oh, he's back. Got one attacker. Ooh, another pawn move. Oh, holy smokes. Yes, I'm not a fan of all these pawn moves. He's gaining space, but he's really lacking in development. He's played 8 moves, and you can complete development in 8 moves, but he's still got 3 minor pieces to develop, and he's still yet to castle. Now, if I take here, the queen can't take because the knight will capture, so take there, attacking the knight, pawn takes, my queen is on this nice open file. Let's just develop the queen here. And then I might castle queenside. Then we might try and open up the middle of the board, because his king hasn't got to safety yet. And he's not going to find much safety, either there or there, because there's too much space now on his side. He's gained control over my side of the board, but as a result he's lost control over a lot of these squares by moving the pawns forward, because the pawns are there to protect squares from pieces. So now there are holes, potentially. That's a hole. Are we worried about this? I don't think so. I think any exchanges in the middle of the board here. Okay, now he's thinking about castling. So now, is it time to go exchanging? Takes. Can't recapture with the knight. My bishop's lined up against here, that's good. And he's already moved 2 pawns on the king side, so maybe just castle long now. Yeah, I don't think these advanced pawns are going to do him any favours if he just decides to go kingside. It's going to be in line with my bishop there, which would mean that this pawn would be pinned, which means that this square is actually free. I've now completed development on move 10. My opponent is still 1, 2, 3 moves away from completing development. Because of all the pawn moves, he's moved 6 of his pawns now already. So he's had 9 moves, he's spent 6 of them pushing pawns. And there he goes. Okay, so first thought now is, these guys now become an attack force. I'm not concerned about this capture. I'm not really concerned about this, because if he pushes that pawn forward, I've got 1, 2, 3 attackers, and he's defending only twice. So I'm thinking, time to start throwing pawns up. And my captain, Harry, is going to start the charge. He might push g4, and then my knight doesn't have this square anymore. But I can drop my knight back and support g4. Having said that, if he pushes that pawn, I don't have g4. The knight comes back, straight attacking that pawn, which is defended by a bishop. So, let's see how it goes. This, then I can attack with more. He might even push again, but then my knight can come back. Okay, pinning the knight. I'm very tempted to take this pawn now, it's attacked twice. Having said that, the knight itself is pinned, so let's move the rook over in line with the king. Generally good idea. Let's see if that rook on g8 plays a key role later on. I'm very happy if he wants to trade his bishop for my knight, because that opens up the line. Oh, got 3 attackers on that. I missed my bishop was also attacking it. Okay. Now I think I can just drop the bishop back. Might have to push a3 to drop it into the hole on a2. If he wants to keep pushing pawns, attack my knight, then my knight has got some nice options. That's a great square for the knight to go to. Okay, we have a trade. Ladies and gentlemen. Okay, now I've got 3 attackers on this pawn. It's defended only once. Defended only by this guy here. So if I get the chance, I'm taking that pawn off. And now look how exposed this king is going to be. If he pushes the pawn, I'll trade. Knight can't recapture because it goes, okay, I'm going to have this pawn. I'm going to think too hard about that one. Maybe I should have put my queen on d2. I did think about it. Was d2 or d3 the better square? Because this diagonal is now looking important. Okay, is he going to capture? Now then, rook takes is an idea. If I capture the bishop, yes, it pins the knight. Or I could just drop my queen back to d2 now. But if I take with the rook, I can double up my rooks and pin the bishop, so I don't see any reason not to do that. I want to play the most forcing moves I can. There you go, some rooster action for anyone who's missed the old roosters. He's down to 3 minutes 20. I'm under 5 minutes, so cock-a-doodle-doo. Bishop's pinned, can't move. Can't put his knight here because he loses it. Can't put his knight here because he loses it. The rook is defended by my bishop. We still have this nice tension in the middle of the board. Under 3 minutes now for my opponent. Alright, okay, this is interesting. So he's attacking the rook. I can simply just drop the rook back. If I take there, king takes, let's think this through. My queen's still blocked in and can't join the fun yet. I take there, king takes, bishop h6, check, king has to move, I then get the rook. But if I drop the rook back, I still have that option. I can still double up my rooks, I can still sack there. Oh, I've lost him. That's unfortunate. That would have been a good finish. I wonder if you can finish against the computer, that'd be good. Okay, but let's do a quick game review and see how we got on. There's always something to learn from every game. .87 accuracy, 3 inaccuracies from me, 1 blunder from my opponent. Okay, let's go through it. Philidor's defense. Book. Inaccuracy yet. So it's saying it should have threatened winning material with, okay, yeah, developing a piece. He failed to develop a piece. Okay, that's an inaccuracy from me. I missed a threat. I should have played d4. Okay, I don't see why it's threatening winning material, but trade, maybe trade off the queens is an idea, which would have been worse for my opponent. But then if he captures, I guess I have queen takes as well. But I played this, he brings out his queen, also inaccurate. Knight to c3 is good, but better to advance the knight. Okay. Now he pushes a pawn. Good. That's inaccurate. There was a better way to threaten winning material, which was. Okay, so he's saying, yeah, knight come in now and attack f7, which is an idea that we mentioned. I played that, he brings out his knight to block the attack on the queen. This is a good move, but not the best. Okay, he wanted me to castle at that point. still fairly marginal. Okay, now he kicks the bishop. Bishop retreats to e3. Computer likes that. That, again, inaccuracy. Obviously, he's just not developing. Queen to d3 is good, but better. h4. The early Harry Carey attack. Okay, so he's moved his bishop there. Castling is best, good. Castling is best. That's a good move. Okay, better would have been to break in the middle. Okay, but still only marginal difference. And that is a blunder, leads to losing material. Okay, but, so what should I have done here? Yeah, I've got 3 attackers on here. Maybe, I'm thinking maybe h takes g5 is what it suggests. Let's see. Yep, okay. Come in there. But I overlooked the fact that I actually had another attacker in the form of this bishop on that pawn. I knew the knight was pinned, but I forgot that I still had 2 other attackers. Okay, so I go there, he hits the bishop, bishop comes back. Is there a better move than that? Okay, yeah, we thought about this. Or did I? But if he takes the bishop now, my queen's under attack, so I'd be forced to do something about that. Okay, but I move the bishop back. That's inaccurate. And now white is all of a sudden +5. So we've gone from +3 here to there, yeah. Okay, that's excellent. But there was a better move. Huh. Really wanted me to resolve things in the middle, but I take the bishop. Knight comes out here, inaccurate. Now I'm +10. Best move, best move, best move. That's excellent. And now bringing the rook back is excellent, and I'm +10, totally winning. Okay, best move here, all the way back to g1. Okay, well, I question that. I guess I still have this idea with the pinned bishop, can't move, and threatening like rook takes, for example. Okay, but interesting stuff, but I was pretty happy with the way that game went. So very often you can just, like I say this a lot, ignore some of the computer suggestions, because the computer often doesn't know what your ideas are, and it doesn't really understand psychology. It doesn't understand your opponent either. And psychology does play a big part in it. So there you go. Nice little exercise against a 1000 whose major fault, I think, in this game was just the pushing of all those pawns, right? And we did see that this rook did indeed turn out to play a very major role, although the game didn't go on to an end. But there you go. Hope that's been useful for you. Thanks for watching. Do appreciate your support. Please subscribe to Chess Boot Camp if you haven't subscribed. And I'll see you soon.